Hey there, folks. Welcome to my recording of my playing role player with the Monsters and Minions expansion this time around. And we are recording it. This is going to be the second one. Like I said, with the last recording, that was for the Assassin's Bleed competition on Board Game Geek. This right here is for the primary part if you're actually playing with the expansion. Y'all ignore the mess in the background. I have been punching out more ogre tokens, if you can believe I need more. Punching out more ogre tokens, and as you see, printing and laminating token dividers for the stacks of tokens down in the gigantic box back yonder. But yes, we are playing. This is for the primary part of the contest. This is the one where you roll the Neurotic Halfling Doomed Assassin. And we have got it set up here. There are several special rules, and don't worry, I'm going to be using the overhead camera again, as you see there. I will be using the overhead camera. It's just to start out here with the basic setup and all. Back to the old shaky cam iPhone here. Alrighty. As you see, we've started with a halfling. Started with the female side again. She's so cute. Who's a little cutie? You are. Indeed. So we got the neurotic here. Neurotic is one of the alignment cards, I think, that came in the Monsters and Minions expansion. As always, we start in the middle, and the halfling is a black, or assassin is a black cube. Start in the middle, but as you see, there are no plus ones. The only positive you have on there is a +3. On the other side of that equation, though, you don't have any -3s either. So it's a little different from the way we're used to with the plus with the 3s and the 1s and the -3s and the -1s. Here's my initial rollout as far as my character dice go. As you see, with a halfling, we get -2 strength. So we've got to make sure we get high points there. We only need a 16. As you see, everything's a 2-star. There are no basically, for the assassin, there are no basic dump stats. There are no 18s that we need either, other than, because of the strength, we're going to need an 18 there. But otherwise, where is their plus? A +2 down here, because you're such a cutie. They got a +2 in charisma, which will help out with that 1 there. I realized during editing that we had not read the backstory, so let's take a look at that right quick. Doomed. On a whim, you sought guidance from the local fortune teller who foretold the day of your death. Now you seek danger, believing that until that day, you are invincible. For the rules that go for the contest, like I said, there's always, with this particular contest, there's always rules that they've added in, some modifications and all. You start with your initial 5, which was what we did, and then you get the +2 and the +2 because we drew 2 gold. So that's part of the basic rules there. The part of the changes for this contest is that we also start off with 4 injury tokens, 4 wounds. There's a backstory to all this, just like with the Elf Ranger. Y'all remember the Elf Ranger in the previous episode? He started with absolutely no money, or she started with absolutely no money, and that was because in the story they're coming in to help the town out, and the town says, we're recovering from a dragon attack, we have no money to pay you, and says, don't worry, I can live off my wits. And that's why you don't start off with any money, and you have to make money as you go along. This one here with the assassin, they were at the Assassin's Guild when the dragon attacked and the roof caved in on them. And so that's why they're starting out with 4 wounds to start with. So this isn't part of normal solo setup. This is part of this right here. In addition to that, we were able to go through the discard pile. You remember in the previous one, the special rule was that we could go through the discard pile and buy any skill that we could afford out of it. In this one, we were able to go through and pull out a weapon if we wanted it. So we got the Unholy Flail, which gives a combat die to any combat roll against a monster or minion. And yes, there are monsters and minions. Duh, in this expansion. And I just found out today there's another expansion on the way that's supposed to come out this spring called Fiends and Familiars. It will add familiars to the game that give you bonuses to your character, and the Fiends part, of course, will be more monsters, more minions, and that sort of stuff. A new card that came out with this expansion is the Gold and Experience card. The gold side tells you already stuff that we already knew, 2 for a gold die, 2 for discarding, etc. But the spin side helps remind you what you can spend stuff on. You can spend XP because we can earn XP in here. You get XP for defeating the minions. You can spend an XP to re-roll a combat die. You can spend 2 of them to discard an injury, which we will be working on that. You can spend 5 to take any of your attribute actions. Costs 5 XP. And you can spend 3 XP or 5 gold to get an extra combat die. They call that hiring a mercenary. The play sequence card is a good deal larger than the other one because of the new part there with the market where you can go on a hunt now. Remember, it used to be we could buy a card or we could discard one and get 2 gold. Now we can go on a hunt, and that's how we fight the minions. Let's see, what else is there? Now when you deal out the market, you deal out 4 cards instead of 3 cards. So you see that. The other thing, as you see with these top 2 up here, is they've added scrolls. Scrolls were not in the initial game. Scrolls here, as you see, they take immediate action. When you buy them, you immediately do what it says on it. For instance, Mesmerize, you immediately get gold equal to the face value of the die in the first position of your charisma. So it's like if we bought this, we would immediately get 1 gold and spend 2 gold for the privilege. So obviously that's not one we're going to be buying this turn. What else we have? Here are the wound tokens. These right here are the location, obstacle, and attack tokens. If you were playing multiplayer, this would actually have a cause because as you defeat minions, these are the monsters that you go along the way. For instance, this zombie here, you have to defeat them in order to find out where the monster's located, what obstacles you're going to run into along the way, and what kind of attack he's going to hit you with. And you do that by fighting these the minions here. As you see, the first minion's a zombie. If you roll a 1 to 9 on your attack dice, you'll get 1 experience. That's that blue cube there. 1 gold, but you also take an injury. If you get a 10 or higher, you get 2 experience, you get 2 gold, and you get a trophy. The trophy means you take this zombie here, put it over by your character, and you get to look at whichever, the lowest one. You look at them in order, the location, the obstacles, and the attack. If you haven't gotten any yet, you look at the location. If this is your second trophy, you get to look at the obstacle, and if this is your third trophy, you get to look at the attack. So those are important. Those help let you plan and design your character for the upcoming battle. And in this upcoming battle, let's also look at this. It also gives you a first player token, starter player token. This is basically, remember the other game had a warrior on the cover. This is basically the bust of the warrior in nice thick wood there. So over here is the monster we're going to be fighting, the boss monster, and we're going to be up against a dragon. And as you see down here, each one of these monsters has a 1-player version and a multiplayer version. And this is the 1-player. The 1-player version is always tougher than the multiplayer version. So we've got a tough one here. He has got 16 health, and to get a full 8 points for defeating him, we've got to get a 32 or higher on our attack dice. And when you consider a die only goes to 6, that means we're going to have at least 6 attack dice to get him to get full points. And as you see there, after the final dice, each injury token deducts -2 rather than -1. So we are definitely want to get rid of as many injuries as we can get. The final thing of these 3 cards, we have a location card, we have an obstacle card, and we have the attack card there. These were each monster. There are 6 different monsters in there: demons, chimera, dragon, etc. Each one comes with 3 location cards, 3 obstacles, and 3 attacks. And you shuffle them up and deal them out So I have no idea what's in this stack, but we'll find out here. All right, that pretty much gives you a quick overview of how the game is going to go, the differences that have been made to it from the base game. So we are going to start now, and I am going to be switching over to the hero camera. And we will see you in just a moment. Okay, folks, welcome to the game here. We've got it set up. Everything is ready to go. We'll have to move some stuff around as we get, armor and, or more particularly skills. We may lay those off to the side here or shuffle the dragon over somewhere. This is our trash pile. This represents what the dummy players over here take. And as you notice, there are 2 enemy dice now, depending on which one you pick over here. So we're going to get started. First off, we've rolled the dice already, so we're going to go dice space. I have to pick which die that I want. And I think I am going to go with, ooh, that would get me right there, wouldn't it? I'm going to take the white die. Since we need a white die right there in intelligence, we've still got a ways to go. So I'm going to put the white die right there in intelligence. I will get a coin for doing that. And then we've got to roll, we just roll 1 die. If it comes on the 2, we roll 1 die. If it comes on the 3, we roll 2 dice. So let's see what we get here. Ooh, and it gives us a 6. All right. If it is a 6, we move the top card from the minion deck. Okay, this doesn't represent the dummy player buying something. This represents the dummy player going on a hunt. So we are going to take the top card to the bottom and reveal a new one. Okay, so we will take the zombie. We no longer are going to be able to fight the zombie, so it goes on the bottom of the deck, and we turn over the top one, which is a kobold. So we've got a new monster, a new minion ready for us there. And the kobold here, let's see what it says. +1 combat die for every die in your dex thing this time. And it's got 3 different levels, a 1 to 6, 7 to 9, and a 10 or higher. You have to roll a 10 or higher in order to defeat that one. Okay. So that has got that part out of the way. Let's take the enemy dice, put it back over there. All right, and part of intelligence is that we can re-roll any die. We are going to re-roll this blue intelligence die, the one that's a 1 right now. And let's see what we come up with. I need to get me a dice tower is what I need to get me too. A 4. So a 4 there. That is better. What do we now go for intelligence? A 14 or a 16? 14 or a 15. So if we got a 6 and put it there, we would be doing all right with our intelligence. So that is not too bad. Okay. So we've won the dice phase now. Now the market phase, okay? We can buy a card, as always. We can discard 1 and get 2 gold, or we can go on a hunt and battle the minion there. So with the minion, we would be looking at a +1 combat die for every die in your dex. And we have 1 die in our deck, so we would be rolling 2 dice against them. If we got a 1 to a 6, a 1 to a 6 with that, we'll get 1 experience and 1 wound. If we get a 7 to a 9, we defeat them and take them as a trophy, and we get 2 experience and get to see what the location card is. The 10 or higher, we defeat them, get 3 experience, and get 1 valor token, which gives you a +1 at the end of the battle whenever you're fighting against the main monster, when we're fighting against the dragon. Oh, let's see here. Our choices on the board are ambitious, loyal, stone skin, which doesn't help us. Mesmerize does not help us at all. As both of those, that would give us 1 gold, and we'd have to spend 2 to get it. We'd spend 1 gold for stone skin, and we'd get 0 back. So neither one of those are going to help us. Loyal or ambitious. Gain a victory point for all your attribute rows with a score of 18 or more. I think we're going to go hunting. That's what we're going to do. So when we go hunting, there's a new type of dice called the combat die, as you see. And no, this did not come with the game. I wish that a bottle of this had come with the game. But that's where I got them. And we don't draw out of this one. We just take the number. You always start with one combat die to start off with. And then, let's see, one combat die to any combat roll for our unholy flail. And then the kobold over here gives us a combat for everything in our deck. So we get one there. So we're going to roll 3 dice against the kobold. So let's see how we do. Remember, we want to roll as high as possible. So we will do that now. And we've got a 4, an 8, a 13. So with a 13, we have defeated the kobold. He will go into our trophies over here. We'll put him to this side of the board. Sure, this is a good place for him. Tell you what, since we're going to be moving the dragon and all, let's put him over here underneath that 3. This is where we keep our trophies. So out of 13, we're going to get 3 experience points now. And those are represented by these cute little translucent blue cubes. And as you saw before, you can spend XP for all sorts of stuff. You can spend one of these to re-roll one of the dice. You can spend 2 of them to get rid of an injury, which we may very well do here. You spend all 3 of them to get an extra die, or we can spend 5 of them and do any of these actions. And that may be something that we need to look at later on in the game. So we've got that, and we get 1 of these honor tokens. As you see, the honor token gives you a +1. And that's going to be nice as we get toward the end of the battle as well. Okay, so, but the biggest part, okay, let's flip over the top card, see what we're going to go up against next. The next one is going to be a giant scorpion. It's going to be the next fight, the next monster that we're going to have to fight here. Minion, that is, if we want to go against it. But the big part is, if it was a multiplayer game, we'd go ahead and take an L and put it over here, and we'd get to look at the location card. Of course, with a solo game, that's not a problem. We just go ahead and flip it over. All right, this battle against the dragon is going to take place on a mountainside. And all players with 2 or more minion trophies get a combat die. So it is going to be important for us to get another minion, at least 1 more minion trophy over here, so we can get an extra combat die when we're fighting against the dragon. Because as I've said, we're going to have to get at least 6. We're going to need at least 6. And we've already got all these wounds over here taking stuff away from us. So I think with my XP, I am going to go ahead and I am going to spend 2 XP, put those back over there, and I am going to get rid of 1 of my wounds. We are going to heal ourselves up by 1. Okay. Now, so that's over with. We don't have any charisma tokens. We haven't used any skills. We're in the cleanup phase now. These go back into the dice pool. Okay. And where's my dice bag? There we go. So those go back into the dice pool. And in this particular one, when we get to the market phase, the game end cleanup, we bought, oh, we didn't buy any. So the left one, just like before, the left one here goes into the discard, and then all the rest of them that are left out here, just like before, go into the trash. So they all go over here now. Those are out of the game. We deal out 4 new cards from the market. We've got Foolish, which I really have liked in some of my previous games. We have Haggle, which is draw 5 cards from the market deck, buy any of them at +2 regular cost. You shuffle the rest and then put them back on top. We've got Intimidate, and Intimidate, before or after selecting one of these, re-roll any number of dice in the dice pool there and reorder them. And Acrobatics, which is +1 to 1 die and -1 to a different die. Okay. Add gold. A new gold goes on to the initiative card here. And then we would pass the start player token to the next player. It stays with me. We're going to roll. I'm going to pull out and roll the next 3 dice for the dice pool over here. And we'll see you once we get all that set up again. All right, next up, we have rolled our dice here. Not a good selection at all. We got a nice purple 5 over here, which would help out with some of these. But I'm looking at this blue 1. We need a blue right here in wisdom. But it's another 1. You know, we've already got a couple of 1s that we're looking at flipping with some strength stuff here. Got a feeling I'm going to be needing a lot of experience up here to do it. Plus, the wisdom doesn't really help me because I really don't want any of these. Either your intelligence or your wisdom is less than an 8. So here's my intelligence, here's my wisdom. I might could do that if I paid 2 for foolish, but I really want to go after that giant scorpion. He's an easy one. I really need to find out what's going on over here so I can look at it, and that will give me the 2 minion trophies that I'll get another combat die to go against the dragon at the end. So that's good too. Anyhow, I'm going to take the blue one. I'm going to put it right there in wisdom. I get the gold off of it. And then I immediately have to roll 1 of the die, and we're going to see what happens here in our market. 4. And the 4 is we move the card on the right here, acrobatics, into the trash pile. So that's the one the player that went before me decided to take. They obviously pulled the 1 because they wanted that gold and bought that card out of the market or discarded it possibly, or whatever they happen to do with it. So our choices are looking even worse. I don't want to do haggle. I don't want to do intimidate. Foolish is a possibility, although our intelligence is already up. Wisdom might still be possible. I don't want to move this. Well, let's move it down 1. Yeah, I'm going to use wisdom, and I'm going to go ahead and move it down 1. Get it close to this 3 over here. So we are just plain old neutral evil right now. We're shooting for lawful evil. Now, in our market phase, we're going to go on a hunt. So the giant scorpion, we get 1 die to start with. We get +1 for every red die on our character sheet. We got 2 red die there. We got 2 red dice, so we get 2 more dice. And remember, the unholy flail gives us another red die. So I will pull another red die out of the bag. And we're going to roll 4 red die here against the giant scorpion. So hopefully we're going to get a 10 or higher. That's what I'd really like to see with that. And get another honor token. We need all the +1s that we can get to go up against that dragon. Whoa, and that one flew across the room. This one fell off the table. Let's roll them again. A 4 and a 3. So we've got an 8, we've got a 10, we've got a 13. That is higher than our 10 plus here on the scorpion sheet. So we're going to get 3 experience and 1 honor token. So we're going to put it over here as well. We have got 2 now, so this mountainside is working fine. We are going to get another combat die for that mountainside. So I'm going to get the 3 XP. 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to immediately spend 2 of them here to get rid of another wound token. Okay. We get another honor token. I'm trying to remember to learn, do the card, do everything on the card, do everything in order. Don't try and jumping ahead like we always seem to do. Multiplayer, we would get an O now, which tells us our obstacle. So we're going to look at the obstacle one. We know we're going to be on the mountainside. The next one up is the player with the most boost dice on their character sheet gains 4 XP. Player with the most boost dice on their character sheet. Well, right now we don't have any boost dice. That's a new die that's been added to this game as well. And y'all haven't seen those yet. But we will see how that is. I guess that gives you an extra 4 XP. That'll give you, if you spend 1 XP per, that could be used to buy another combat die or to re-roll one of the dice 4 times, to have 4 re-rolls at the end. So that would be nice. So we're on a mountainside with a spiked pit trap halfway up the mountain. So we're going to have to remember to jump over the pit trap there. The next monster up is going to be a will-o-wisp. Will-o-wisp here, 1 combat die for every white die on your character sheet. And you only have to get an 8 or higher to defeat that one. Okay, so that's all of that. We're going to do the cleanup now. We're going to do the re-roll over here. So I will be back with you as soon as we get all that done. We've got everything set up again. As you see, we have 2 pieces of leather armor in the marketplace now. So it's impossible for me to get a complete set now. We got leather gloves, which once again, that helps. I'm a black class, so that helps. Plus 1 star. If I could have gotten all 4 of them, I could have gotten 8, 9 reputation for that. But what can you do? Got leather boots with the same thing. Got a chain helm. We don't really care about that. And we got humble, which is gain a star for every boost die. Once again, we don't have any boost die. We don't have any boost die over here. We got a green 1, a black 2, and a red 3. I'm looking at that black 2 because once again, I am really thinking about, I need a black one right there. So if I put the black 2 into dexterity, I could trade it with this one. And I'm thinking that may be what I do. That's what we're going to do. We're going to take the black 2, we're going to put it in dexterity there, and then we will immediately swap places with it and the gold 1 there. Okay, so we've got the black one in the right place, we've got a blue one in the right place, we got a white one in the right place. We're halfway through our doom sheet already. We've already got 1 point for being doomed. Okay, we're going to take the gold. We are really piling up some gold here. Okay, and we need to roll 1 enemy die again. So let's go ahead, let's roll that. And it's a 2. So a 2 on the enemy die moved the second card to the trash pile. So the chain helm. Whoever it is, they must be a cleric or something. They're wanting to wear chainmail. Okay, that leaves us with leather gloves, humble, and leather boots. Oh. That will-o-wisp would be pretty darn easy to take out. We would have all the minions out of the way. We would know what the dragon's attack is going to be, so we'd be able to think about that. We've already got our 2 minions, so we've completed that. We know we need boost dice, but this is easy one. As long as we get 1 damn boost dice out here, we'll get that 4 extra P. But we got to get a boost dice out of that bag. Do we want to go with that? Or do we want to go with the leather? I am going to attack the will-o-wisp over there. Okay. Oh, and the other thing I keep forgetting, I've forgotten it twice now. When making a combat roll, I get to add +2 because I'm an assassin. How many times in that last game did I not pay myself because I kept forgetting to look at the ranger who got extra gold every time you use a skill card? I'm terrible at looking at that kind of stuff. All right. 1 for our initial. 1 for our unholy flail. 1 for every white die. So that's 3. We're going to put this one back over here. So we are going to roll 3 red dice. We really, really need an 8 or higher. 4, 7, 8, 9. Very good. So we've got a 9 here. We have defeated the will-o-wisp. Will-o-wisp. With a 9, we get 3 experience. Once again, we're only going to take 1. We'll leave the other 2 over there and get rid of one of these wound tokens. And in fact, I'll pay another 2 now and get rid of another wound token. I'm going to take a look and make sure you can spend that much. And we get to keep this as a trophy. And most importantly, we now get to look at what the attack is going to be. So let's look at it. He's going to attack us with Fire Breath. Player with the most armor cards gains 3 combat dice. We need an armor card. We need an armor card. So we know that. Next time an armor comes up, we've got to buy it because we've got to have some armor to protect us against that Fire Breath there. Okay. What is the next minion? Just in case we want to go after more experience. We have got an Owlbear coming up. And an Owlbear is +1 combat for every purple die, which we don't have any. So we would only be rolling 2 combat dice against him. Okay, that is our market phase. This one goes back into the discard. These 2 get trashed. We're going to do the setup, roll some new dice out here, and I will see y'all when we've gotten that out of the way.